DOTD boss, Dr. Shawn Wilson. Tell me about this Barksdale thing, both of you.
Yeah, well, he knows more about it than I do. It's
absolutely.
Cool.
So when the governor campaigned, he talked about I-10. He talked about the Loyola Interchange leading to a $1 billion airport in Orleans and Jefferson. And he talked about sustaining the military presence here at Barksdale. And we've had an interchange that was 3/4 complete. If you drive there now, you can see the dirt was pounded and cleared and grubbed, as we call it, to get into the Barksdale Air Force Base on the back end, and it was never funded. And so we've spent a lot of time in this administration doing the things that people have asked us to do for 20, 30 years in some cases, and this is one of them. We've got a 4-star general. The B-52 sits there. Why not access that base from the interstate? 2 reasons. One, we've never had money. Secondly, it's one of those things that we would wait to the last minute when something's in jeopardy to say, oh, we'll go do it. We don't want to wait that long. So we've put together a plan. In spite of the gas tax not passing, we're still going to do the best we can with what we have. And we've put together the Garvey package, which allows us to take the federal money we get up to 10%, bond it out, and build it today. Now, here's the big thing. This isn't going to affect the 4-lane roads or the overlays that we do. They will continue to be funded. In fact, they're going to get more money going forward. And then second, on the interstate, we're spending about $70 million a year right now on the interstate. I'm going to still be spending about $30 million or $40 million next year on the interstate and the year after that by borrowing this money. And we're going to spend the $120+ million or maybe $90 million, depending on the final plans, on actually building this and going through what's called design build. Instead of waiting until 2023 to get started, I anticipate that we can break ground in 2019.
Is that a project that people were crying out for? Is that a top priority project, or how was that selected? I've lived here a long time.
No, very good question. It's one of those tough things that infrastructure has to be economic development. They have to go hand in hand. It's been on our mega projects list for the last 15 to 20 years, so it's been a priority. Here's what's the benefit. The benefit is right now, if you want to get to Barksdale, you've got a bunch of circuitous surface roads you got to get to. For those people that get there who are coming from the interstate, guess what? You'll be able to stay on the interstate, I-20 to I-49 or I-49 to I-20, and get off and go right into the base. That's going to relieve a lot of congestion on those surface streets. It's going to make getting into Barksdale more attractive, and it's going to make it easier for businesses who want to come in and support what's happening at Barksdale to locate at that intersection of the interstate where you have lots of room for development, because it's going to be easy to get in and out of there.
We had questioned you a while back. I know you know about Representative Alan Seabaugh and some of the things he had said about the DOTD. This sort of relates to that. Why can't the state do what businesses are forced to do, downsize the workforce and rework each budget first?
Well, I will tell you, since I've been at the department, we've dropped over 1,200 people. We've increased our responsibility, and we've lost revenue, and we still have an admin cost of less than 4%. That, to me, is doing exactly what he's asking us to do. By the same token, when you look at what we did last 2 weeks with the freeze, we had 1,200 people statewide that went out and salted roads, opened roads, and helped save lives, 4 of which we lost during that freeze. Those are the same people that we would cut. So who would be the ones to do that? And if I had to go to the private sector, I'd spend more money, because we've run the numbers on those types of things. I'd spend more money contracting the private sector to do what I know I already have to do. Not to mention the legacy costs of maintaining the retirees that we have to pay for anyway. So it's a tough issue. And we've cut over the last several years, but look what we've got. Are we satisfied with it?
Got a question from a lawmaker on my phone just a minute ago, wanting to know, is there any option for a sales tax for our roads?
Well, you know, initially, the sales tax was something that was debated a long time ago. The legislature needed it to fill a $2 billion deficit. As we spend today, we have a cliff that's coming at the end of this fiscal year when that temporary sales tax rolls off. I'm a big advocate of charging those who use it. If you're going to use it, pay for it. If you have a car, you should pay a gas tax and you should drive it. Everything you buy, sell, or trade is a part of that. That's all going to the state right now. And if you have this cliff happen and you close universities and hospitals, what's the point of an infrastructure system other than to support businesses that won't be able to attract employees because you're not going to have an educated and trained workforce or a place that have a quality of life, or businesses that want to thrive here. So I'm not opposed to any revenue source that we put in transportation, but I think it needs to be sustainable, and it needs to be in the context of the overall state budget, and that's the governor's priority, and I think he's right on that.
Department of Transportation and Development Secretary.
Thank you, Erin. You got it right.
Dr. Shawn Wilson, thanks for coming in.
Anytime I'm here, I'd love to come and visit and wish your people a safe and happy Mardi Gras.